And finally, before we get to your questions, we have some news to announce.
Commissioner Kathy Engelberg, Commissioner of the WNBA, just announced that starting in 2025, the WNBA Finals format will change.
Thanks to the Caitlin Clark effect, the WNBA just revealed a major surprise during the playoffs. They're drastically altering the regulations for 2025. The real question is, though, will anything actually change? Or is it too little, too late? The league SCP now attempting to pick up the pieces after Clark's playoff exit left arenas half empty and ratings in the gutter. But can these new regulations actually heal what's broken? Let's talk about Clark's influence. She didn't simply play the game, she rewrote it. 62 broken records, TV ratings skyrocketed, arenas were full, and fans couldn't get enough of Clark and the Fever, which was turning into a nightly highlight reel.
I knew the atmosphere was going to be electric when they announced Caitlin's name in the dark and the fans went crazy.
However, this is the truth. When Clark left, everything fell apart, and some games' ratings plummeted by 80%. Can the WNBA survive without its golden goose? These new rules better be good because right now it's looking pretty bleak. Before we break it down, please remember to subscribe to the channel. Are you ready? Let's go. Arenas are suddenly looking like ghost towns. Crowd sections are tarped off, so it doesn't look bad on live TV. Tell me honestly, are you even surprised that Clark was carrying this league on her back and now she's gone golfing?
And with the WNBA playoffs, let's stay here. Let's just say the ratings aren't the same with Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever now eliminated. By the way, not only was viewership down, but attendance was as well.
The WNBA is going all out in a panic, but the real shocker is that these new rules aren't just tweaks. They're a complete overhaul that could make or break the league. The question is, will it be enough to close the Caitlin-sized gap in their ratings, or will the league continue to lose relevance? Let's examine these frantic actions. To start, they are increasing the number of games in the regular season from 40 to 44 in 2025 in order to accommodate the Golden State Valkyries, a new team. For more opportunities to support your preferred team.
To go to multiple arenas so that people that are watching at home can see this environment in a multitude of cities. It's amazing. I love it. The growth continues.
However, the finals are also getting a makeover. They will now be best-of-7 series instead of best-of-5.
Starting in 2025, the WNBA Finals format will change to a best-of-7 series.
Yes.
And the format will be 2-2-1-1-1.
Since the league obviously believes that more games equal more viewers and more money, they are appending the first round of the playoffs by switching to a 111 format, which guarantees the lower seed one home game.
Say for the fans, it's a benefit for your team. It's played well enough to get into the playoffs. So now that your fans will be able to see your team play at home during those playoffs.
It's a constant balancing of the schedule, yes, but it's more like a constant scramble to keep the lights on without your star player. During the Fever Sun series, the Indiana Fever were never able to return and play for their crowd in Gainbridge because of all the controversy in Games 1 and 2. I suppose they finally realized that lower seeds needed to play in front of their home crowd too. Now, Commissioner Kathy Engelbert is trying to sell us on these changes, as though they're going to save the league.
With the increased attention this year, there's also been increased scrutiny about the quality of refereeing. Curious if there has been any conversation about whether it's referee pay, referee training, anything to ensure that is as good as it can be.
But let's be honest for a moment. Are these reforms truly meeting the needs of the fans? Sure, more games sound fantastic on paper, but what about the things that really count, like player safety and fair officiating, which Engelbert completely ignored?
The one thing as a very long-term sports fan I know is that officiating and refereeing is always at the top of a fan's list, of the media's list. Obviously, not every, they're human.
It's like they're painting a new coat on a dilapidated house and calling it renovated. Let's not offend the fans who witnessed what Clark brought to the table. Not just his incredible skills, but a completely new style of play. Fast-paced, joyful, exciting team basketball where teammates actually play with each other. Now that the season is longer, things are back to normal. You have to wonder if anyone in the league office is truly paying attention to the fans because they're saying that we want the type of basketball Clark played, that we want fair calls, and that we want to see our favorite players protected on the court, but instead of addressing those fundamental issues, we get more games. Clark leaves the playoffs, And abruptly half the arena's empty TV ratings plummet faster than the Chicago Sky train wreck. The NBA's brilliant solution is to give us more of what we're already not watching.
I came to see Caitlin Clark tonight.
Oh, gotta watch number 22.
I've been watching Caitlin for a couple of years, and since then I've dreamed about coming to a game.
And let's take a moment to discuss those ratings. With Clark, you had games that drew in over 1 million viewers, and her playoff games brought in 2 to 3 million. Without her, you're lucky if you break 500,000. So, what's the end goal here? Are they hoping that by the time the 2025 season arrives, fans will have forgotten about the fundamental problems that are ruining the league and will only be excited with a few extra regular season games? Or are they hoping that the rivalry narrative will finally catch on fire?
White, one black. And so we have that moment with these two. But the one thing I know about sports, you need rivalry. That's what makes people watch. They want to watch games of consequence between rivals. They don't want everybody being nice to one another.
Considering that there are multiple players in Kathy Engelbert's world, these alterations could potentially backfire. It's almost like the league is in denial that they had lightning in a bottle with Clark, and instead of figuring out how to recreate that magic, they're rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. Fans aren't asking for more mediocre basketball. They want excitement. They want fair play. They want to see their favorite players. More games mean more wear and tear on players. Longer playoff series could result in more injuries. And if the officiating doesn't improve, those extra games are just more chances for fans to become irate and lose interest. I understand that change is difficult, but adding a few more games and calling it progress won't cut it. The WNBA needs to take a serious look in the mirror and consider whether these changes are truly meeting fan needs, or are they just a last-ditch effort to capitalize on the Caitlin Clark effect. If you've watched this far and are enjoying the video, please remember to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. We understand that watching this video takes up some of your time, and we appreciate it. Now, let's get back to the action.
I noticed when you're asking about Caitlin a lot, you bring up other rookies as well.
No league's ever about one player. That player could get hurt or whatever. So I think it's just to give recognition that in sports, people watch for compelling content and rivalries. And you can't do that alone as one person.
What if I told you that Caitlin Clark changed the WNBA's playbook on her own? Not just on the court, but also in boardrooms and living rooms. Everyone is discussing changes to the rules, but they're ignoring the obvious. Since numbers don't lie, let's discuss them across America. For a league in dire need of star power, Clark's jersey became the best-selling rookie jersey in WNBA history. That's not just a victory, though. Way beyond merchandise, over 54 million people watched all of her games in 2024. That's not an error. 54 million people. When was the last time that happened?
And the Fever are going to be over 200,000 higher than the next highest total attendance in league history.
Clarkonomics, my friend.
But here's where it gets serious. Without Clark on the court, nationally televised game viewership drops to 440,000, which isn't a dip, but rather a nosedive. And it's not just TV. Over 1.5 million fans attended games during Clark's season, shattering the NBA's attendance record. They weren't just spectators, they were filling AR. You might be thinking, well, but it's just one player. But you're mistaken. Clark was more than just a player. She was a cultural phenomenon who made women's basketball a must-watch on television. She also had people talking about the WNBA on social media and over water coolers. When was the last time you've seen that level of excitement surrounding the league?
She's growing to be the face of the WNBA, reason why her presence on court grabs just as much interest as some of the biggest names over in the men's event. The viewership of the regular season saw 54 million people tune in to watch the WNBA, a boost of 170% from last year.
The reason why people are paying attention today isn't just about Clark. It's also about what she stood for. Fast-paced, high-scoring people want to watch edge-of-your-seat basketball, but it feels like we're returning to the typical snooze fest. However, there's more to it. Fans are tired of the league's fundamental problems and aren't just missing Clark's game. Player safety is a farce. The eye poke incident and the mediocre Rookie of the Year celebration are examples of fair officiating that don't make me laugh. These aren't just small setbacks. They're signs that the league has lost sight of what players and fans truly desire.
That's what's called being a consumer. You get to buy what you want to purchase.
And let's take a moment to discuss management. Kathy Angelbert and her team appear more concerned with immediate profits than creating a long-lasting competitive league. They hit gold with Clark, but instead of using that momentum to boost the league as a whole, they rode the Clark wave until it crashed. Now, with these new rules, Engelbert and company are left frantically trying to patch the holes in a sinking ship. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, the things the WNBA doesn't want you to focus on. These rule changes aren't just a band-aid on a broken leg, they're a smokescreen concealing some serious problems. Let's start with player safety. Keep in mind that during that playoff game, Clark was poked in the eye, and no matter how awful it appeared, no foul was called. That's not just poor refereeing, it was downright hazardous.
I don't even know why I would intend to hit anybody in the eye. That doesn't even make sense to me. But no, I didn't. I didn't know I hit her, actually. I was trying to make a play on the ball, and I guess I followed through and I hit her. So obviously it's never intentional. That's not even like the type of player that I am.
And this isn't a singular occurrence. During her rookie season, Clark was the target of 177% of all egregious fouls in the league. That's crazy that one player took that many hits. Was the Jordan rules back in effect? No one informed us of this, but at least she won Rookie of the Year. These kinds of things make you wonder if the WNBA even cares about its stars, or if they are only interested in quick wins and easy headlines. She is breaking records left and right, changing the game as we know it. And how does the WNBA celebrate with a phone call in a practice gym without any fanfare or ceremony worthy of her historic accomplishments? It seems like they didn't even want to acknowledge how much she had done for the league.
They decided that they were going to let her know she was Rookie of the Year with a phone call in Connecticut during a practice before a playoff game. You can't make this up.
And the ironic fans aren't buying it. They're tired of the league's fundamental problems, not just missing Clark's game. Player security, where are the press briefings on these matters? And is fair officiating recognition for star players? What's the answer? Well, it's not as easy as tweaking a few regulations. These aren't just small hitches. They're signs that the league has lost sight of what players and fans truly want, and no amount of extra games or playoff adjustments will make that right. The WNBA needs a total overhaul, from top to bottom, in order to assure fair and consistent calls across the board. They must invest in greater training for officials and tackle player safety head-on with explicit rules and sanctions for risky play.
Let me speak for every one of those fans when I say, I will put my time, my effort, my enjoyment into whatever makes me happy. I enjoy watching her play, and that makes me happy.
Additionally, when you have a player like Clark, they really ought to start treating their stars like stars. With these new rules, the WNBA is desperately trying to close the Clark-sized hole in their league. More games, longer playoffs sounds fantastic, but let's face it, are a few extra matchups going to address the real problems? You break records, draw millions of viewers, make a big deal out of it, and use that momentum to boost the entire league. This is the big question. Is it too late, or are these changes even the right ones to make in the first place? From where I sit, it appears that the WNBA is attempting to put out a forest fire with a water pistol. We're talking about a league that can't keep its stars safe, can't officiate fairly, and can't even bother to celebrate its biggest talent properly. Now that Clark is gone, ratings are dropping and arenas are emptier than a politician's promises. Are we seeing women's professional basketball, or will the league take a cue from the Caitlin Clark effect? Diminish? Please share your thoughts in the comments section, subscribe, and enable all notifications so that you don't miss anything. We'll see you in the next one after you click the video on the screen.